Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most harmful creatures on the planet. Our world, in all its breathtaking beauty and complexity, is a place of endless wonder. From the highest, windswept peaks to the deepest, darkest corners of the ocean, life has found a way to flourish in the most extraordinary forms. I've spent a lifetime traveling this planet, and I've learned that with this great diversity comes an equal measure of danger. It's a delicate, often brutal balance. The strategies for survival are as varied as the creatures themselves, and many have evolved remarkable and sometimes terrifying methods of defense and predation. Today, I want to take you on a journey, not to marvel at the gentle giants or the colorful dances of the animal kingdom, but to look closer at those that command a different kind of respect, the kind born from caution. These are the creatures whose existence reminds us that nature is not always benign. They are masters of survival, armed with potent venom, formidable strength, or ingenious, if unsettling, life cycles. They are not evil, of course. They are simply playing their part in the grand, ancient drama of life. So join me as we explore some of the most unexpectedly dangerous animals that share our world. We will travel from the open plains to the dark undergrowth, and even look at threats that can find their way into our own homes, or indeed, our own bodies. It is a journey that requires a steady nerve, but one that will deepen our understanding of the intricate and sometimes perilous tapestry of life on Earth. Let us begin. We begin our journey on the great grasslands of North America, a landscape that seems, at first glance, to be a picture of serenity. Here, amidst the rolling hills and waving seas of grass, lives an icon of the American West, the bison. To see a herd of these magnificent animals grazing peacefully is a truly humbling sight. They appear slow, almost lethargic, their immense shaggy heads bowed to the earth. It is this very placidity that makes them so profoundly dangerous. People see them in national parks and mistake them for docile, oversized cattle, a fatal miscalculation. This creature is a powerhouse of muscle and bone, weighing up to a ton and capable of astonishing bursts of speed. A bison can gallop at nearly 40 miles per hour, faster than any human can run, and they can turn on a dime, their hooves tearing up the ground as they charge. They are notoriously unpredictable, their mood capable of shifting in an instant. A tourist getting too close for a photograph, a dog barking, or simply an unknown gesture can be perceived as a threat. The warning signs, if they come at all, are subtle: a raised tail, a fixed stare, before the earth-shaking charge begins. The consequences of such an encounter can be devastating. Despite their lack of sharp teeth or venom, bison are responsible for more injuries in places like Yellowstone than any other animal, including bears. They will use their massive heads to butt and their short, sharp horns to gore. The message from the natural world here is unequivocal and clear. Respect their space. To admire them from a great distance is to appreciate their true wildness, but to encroach upon their territory is to foolishly invite a demonstration of the raw, untamable power that has allowed them to command these plains for millennia. Deep within the woodlands and rocky outcrops of East Africa, a creature of unusual habits scurries through the undergrowth. At first glance, the African crested rat appears to be a rather unremarkable rodent, large and fluffy, with a distinctive black and white mane of fur along its back. It seems harmless, perhaps a little strange, but certainly not something one would consider dangerous. Yet, this animal harbors one of the most ingenious and bizarre defense mechanisms I have ever encountered. It doesn't produce its own venom. Instead, it borrows it. This unassuming rat seeks out a plant known to local hunters for its lethality: the poison arrow tree, Acocanthera schimperi. The bark and roots of this tree contain powerful cardiac glycosides, toxins potent enough to stop the heart of an elephant. The rat, remarkably immune to the poison's effects, chews on the bark, creating a toxic slobber. It then meticulously grooms itself, anointing the specially adapted, spongy hairs of its crest with this deadly saliva. The mane, which it can erect when threatened, becomes a formidable weapon. Any predator foolish enough to attack, perhaps a leopard or a wild dog, gets a mouthful of this potent cardiac poison. The effect can be sickness, paralysis, or even death. This act of borrowing a defense from another kingdom of life is a stunning example of evolutionary brilliance. While the rat itself poses no direct threat to a human who leaves it alone, its story serves as a profound reminder. It shows that even the most seemingly benign creatures can carry hidden dangers, and that in the intricate web of nature, toxicity can be found in the most unexpected of places, wielded by a creature no larger than a rabbit. The dangers we face are not always from creatures that charge or bite. Some are far more insidious, working their way into our lives, and indeed our bodies, with a horrifying subtlety. In the tropical regions of Central and South America lives an insect whose life cycle is the stuff of nightmares, the human botfly. This is not a creature that attacks with venom or claw, but one that uses our own bodies as a nursery for its young. The process is as cunning as it is disturbing. The female botfly does not lay her eggs directly on a human. Instead, she captures a blood-sucking insect, like a mosquito or a tick, in mid-air. She then carefully glues her eggs to the belly of this unwilling courier. When the mosquito lands on a warm-blooded host, such as a person, to take a meal, the warmth of the skin triggers the botfly eggs to hatch almost instantly. The tiny larvae, no bigger than a pinhead, drop onto the skin and burrow headfirst into the flesh, often through the very bite wound created by the mosquito. Once inside, the larva begins to grow, feeding on the subcutaneous tissue. It creates a small, boil-like lump with a tiny hole at the center, which it uses to breathe. The host may feel a strange, squirming sensation and intermittent, sharp pains as the larva moves. For weeks, it continues to develop, hidden from view. The removal process is deeply unpleasant, often requiring a minor surgical procedure to extract the wriggling grub. If left untreated, the risk of a severe secondary infection is very real. It is a chilling example of parasitism, a reminder that to some creatures, we are not a threat, but a home. Australia, a continent famed for its unique and often dangerous wildlife, is home to a canid that blurs the line between wild and domestic, the dingo. With their sandy-colored coats and intelligent eyes, they look remarkably like a common dog. But honestly, this familiarity is deeply deceptive. The dingo is an ancient lineage of dog that was introduced to Australia thousands of years ago and has since reverted to a wild state. It is a highly intelligent and resourceful predator, perfectly adapted to the harsh conditions of the outback. For the most part, dingoes are wary of humans and will keep their distance, hunting kangaroos, wallabies, and smaller mammals. However, in areas where their territory overlaps with human activity, such as campsites or the fringes of towns, their behavior can become dangerously unpredictable. They are opportunistic and have been known to lose their natural fear of people, associating them with an easy source of food. This is when they pose the greatest risk, especially to the most vulnerable among us. There have been several documented and tragic cases of dingoes attacking humans, particularly small children. An unattended child can be seen not as a human, but as prey of a manageable size. This is not an act of malice, but the instinct of a wild predator. It is a stark and heartbreaking reminder that even an animal that looks like man's best friend is governed by the unforgiving laws of nature. When in dingo country, the advice is simple but vital. Never feed them, secure all food, and never ever leave children unsupervised. To forget this is to forget that you are a visitor in their world, a world where the old rules of predator and prey still apply. In the world of insects, few sounds inspire such primal fear as the collective, furious buzzing of a swarm of bees. But not all bees are created equal. In the 1950s, a scientific experiment in Brazil went terribly wrong. In an attempt to breed a honeybee better suited to tropical climates, European honeybees were crossbred with a famously resilient subspecies from Africa. The goal was increased honey production. The result was the creation of what we now call the Africanized honeybee, or more sensationally, the killer bee. These bees are not more venomous than their European cousins. A single sting is no more dangerous. Their peril lies in their temperament. They are extraordinarily defensive of their hives, possessing a hair-trigger response to perceived threats. A disturbance that a European bee colony might ignore, a loud noise, a vibration from a lawnmower, or simply someone walking too close, can send an Africanized colony into a frenzy. Their defensive perimeter is far larger, and they will pursue a perceived threat for up to a quarter of a mile. When they attack, they do so not with a few dozen guard bees, but with thousands. An entire colony pours from the hive in a terrifying buzzing cloud. A victim can be covered in bees, sustaining hundreds or even thousands of stings. While one sting is not fatal, the sheer volume of venom injected from a mass attack can lead to toxic shock, kidney failure, and death, even in individuals who are not allergic. These hybrids have spread relentlessly, a testament to their aggressive survival instincts, and a chilling lesson in the unforeseen consequences of tampering with the intricate designs of nature. Let us now journey beneath the waves, into the warm, tropical waters of the Indo-Pacific. Here, among the vibrant coral reefs and sandy shallows, lies a creature that has perfected the art of camouflage to a lethal degree. It is the stonefish, and it is arguably the most venomous fish in the world. Its mottled, lumpy body is so perfectly disguised as a rock or a piece of coral that it is virtually invisible to the naked eye. It lies motionless on the seabed, waiting patiently for unsuspecting prey, like a small fish or crustacean, to swim by. The danger to humans comes not from a predatory attack, but from an accidental encounter. A wader in the shallows or a diver exploring a reef might unwittingly place a foot down, mistaking the fish for a harmless piece of the seafloor. This is a catastrophic mistake. Along the fish's back runs a row of 13 stout spines, each connected to a sac of potent neurotoxin. When pressure is applied, the spines erect like hypodermic needles, injecting a dose of venom that causes immediate and excruciating pain. Survivors have described the pain as being crushed, stabbed, and burned all at once, a torment so intense it can cause delirium and unconsciousness. The venom attacks the nervous system, causing paralysis, tissue death, and, if the dose is large enough and medical treatment is not sought immediately, cardiovascular collapse and death. The stonefish is a masterpiece of passive defense, a living testament to the fact that in nature, the deadliest threats are often the ones you never see coming. It commands the ultimate respect, demanding that we watch every single step we take in its domain. Our journey today has taken us across continents and through different ecosystems, revealing just a fraction of the creatures that command our caution. From the raw power of the bison to the venomous ingenuity of the stonefish and the nightmarish life cycle of the botfly, we have seen that danger in the natural world wears many faces. These animals are not villains, they are survivors. Their formidable defenses and behaviors are the result of millions of years of evolution, finely tuned strategies for staying alive in a world filled with competition and threat. They are a vital part of the planet's intricate biodiversity. Understanding these dangers is not about fostering fear, but about cultivating a deeper and more profound respect for the wild. It is about recognizing our own place within this complex web of life, not as masters of it, but as participants who must tread with awareness and humility. The stories of these creatures remind us that the world is not entirely ours to command, and that there are ancient rules and boundaries we cross at our own peril. This knowledge allows us to coexist more safely and to appreciate the sheer power and complexity of the natural world from a wiser perspective. So, as we go about our lives, let us carry this awareness with us. Let us marvel at the beauty, but also acknowledge the inherent power of nature. By understanding the risks, we can better protect both ourselves and the magnificent, if sometimes dangerous, creatures with whom we share this extraordinary planet. There is always more to learn, more to discover, and more to respect. Thank you for joining me on this exploration.